morning, everyone. Setting up this camera, there's a fine line between you seeing this much of the coffee apparatus and coming down here and looking at my gut and the dishwasher front. It is a fine line, and because this thing likes to kind of auto-center a little bit, sometimes if I go look up and look back down, it'll be oriented in a different way, and it's kind of frustrating sometimes. But I love this camera. I wish it didn't overheat. Today, we're doing an iced pour over. We're going to use the Caffè Graziella. I saw that they had another successful market. Where were they? Were they in Dublin? They had another successful market. So congrats to them. That's amazing. I'm so glad. I wish we could have gotten over there. We got up a little later that Saturday. So hopefully we'll be able to hit one of the markets you're visiting before summer's out. I'm sure we will. I wouldn't mind sampling the entire lineup that you bring, because the cold brew that you I bought from you, it was absolutely fantastic, and I love the combination of flavors. So, Caffè Graziella. I have a recipe from Canyon Coffee. You can tell it's a Canyon, not Canyo. Canyon. I already spilt water all over it. That's just the way it is. So I'm like, just find me a Chemex pour over iced coffee recipe, and it found it for me. And this is canyoncoffee.co. I'll link this and the website in the description below. We are going to do this, and it's been a long time since I've made a pour over iced coffee, so that should be a lot of fun. So we're gonna go step by step. Here's what you need. You do need a Chemex, you need a filter. I don't have a favorite bag of Canyon, at least not yet. So Caffè Graziella it is, I'm excited about that. Ice, a kettle, a bird grinder, water, which is in the kettle, a stopwatch built in, and my scale. All right, so, and lady. We need a lady, don't we? Yes, good luck, lady. All right, so fill up the kettle, done, taken care of. Weigh out and grind 36 grams of coffee on a medium setting. Oh, I need my water. There it is, okay. So let's measure out 36 grams of coffee. Oop, went a little too far there, didn't I? 35. Almost on the mark. I can live with that. 36 grams of coffee. Let's spritz the beans. All right. Get everything wet. There we go, nice. I'll put this in here for now. Uh-oh. Now I got a live studio audience. Look at that. Hi, everybody. All right, so here's the Chemex on the scale. Just 0. I didn't want off. I wanted 0. Okay. So once our water reaches temperature, which is in a little bit, we're going to put some through the filter here. They want you to saturate it to begin the osmosis through the filter. So then we're going to lift the filter and we're going to discard the water, and then we're going to add our ice, which is about 290 grams of ice. So that's 2.5 cups. Chemex or whatever you're brewing into. So, I mean, this is not just for Chemex. This is for anything that you want to brew into that's going to be able to hold 290 grams of ice and 288 grams of water. And then there's even step-by-step stuff here with blooming the coffee for about 30 seconds. They say about 60 grams of water to bloom. It always seems like it needs more water to get the bloom going, but we'll try to make it 60 grams of water. They say it should be about a 3-minute brew time from coffee being poured in to it coming out the bottom. We'll be able to take care and measure all of that. So, okay, well, I guess right now we can just grind the beans then, huh? This coffee grinds up so well, and it smells so good. We'll wait to put this into here until we've done the paper wetting thing. Did this say how much water to put in there? It just says, once water reaches temperature, place filter in your pour over set and pour hot water through the filter to saturate it and begin the osmosis through the filter. being the osmosis through the filter. Okay. It's a very weird way of saying things, but I'll allow it. Well, it's Wednesday, which means the mowers were out and bright and early. I actually got up before they started mowing. Lady's gotten really clingy lately. She just wants to be petted like all night long now. If I'm lying in bed and I'm not petting her, she's yelling at me. And sometimes I can go to sleep and before she starts yelling at me and I can't hear it. And I think she gives up after about 5 minutes. But if I'm awake and she starts meowing, I can't go to sleep. So I just roll over and pet her. So I'm actually enabling that behavior. However, I don't mind that much. All right, you. Let's wet some paper. Give it a little bit of a pass through. There we go. Now this is interesting, I think. Where does it say here? It says to actually let the kettle sit there for a little bit. Filter, discard hot water, hot water boils. Make sure it sits for about a minute before pouring it over coffee. That's an interesting step I never really thought about. Is that a thing? I wonder if that's a thing. All right, so there's our hot water through. All right, so we'll zero that out. No, not off. Holding it for too long, I guess. Let's get our coffee in here. 36 grams of coffee. Perfect. I should have put the ice in there first, shouldn't I have? Yeah, I missed a step. All right, so I need 290 grams of ice, which I think I have plenty of that here. And this is gonna be loud, plus I don't have enough ice. That's a good one. All right, cool. Put you back in here. Yeah, I kind of got that backwards, but that's okay. All right, so 290 grams of ice and the Chemex. All right, and now we're ready to do the important part. Let's try to get this 60 grams. Let's see what that kind of looks like here. Okay. I get it. All right, that's not, yeah, okay. So that's the blooming phase. So it basically most of it got wet. All right, let it sit for 30 seconds while the coffee blooms. This is it just still looks so dry. Is that still blooming? I mean, gases are still escaping a little bit, but I don't think that's enough water for a bloom. Okay, so enough water to get all the grounds wet. After 30 seconds, continue pouring the water slowly from the center outwards in a circular motion. Well, I kind of do that, but I don't do it slowly, I guess. Maybe I just don't do it slowly enough. All right, so we're putting in total of 288 grams of water. It's a very interestingly precise number. We're gonna try to get there. Just a bit outside. All right. I'll take it. Okay. Should be done pouring the water between 55 seconds and 1:05. Coffee drip completely out. Should be about 3 minutes. What's it doing? Is it draining? It doesn't feel like a lot of hot water going in. So we've got about 500 grams of coffee going on here, a little bit more. It says to discard or compost your filter and pour the coffee over ice. Enjoy black or pour milk of your choice over the ice and enjoy the show as it cascades. Cascades! I'll go for another 30 seconds here. Not a flatbed, but I didn't swirl anything. It did not say to swirl, so I did not swirl. I mean, tell me how much water to put in there, I don't know. I mean, I guess done pouring between 55 seconds and 1 minute and 5 seconds. That's a little weird to me. All right, so that's your 3 minutes. That's your 3 minute mark. This is the part that the last time I did this kind of coffee, this is the part that kind of took a little bit longer than anything else. We got to get this ice to melt. So you swirl it. That's something that it really doesn't mention in here. Give your finished coffee a good swirl. It doesn't say to let all of the ice dissolve, which is odd because every other one that I had seen actually said, hey, you should let the ice completely dissolve in here before you start pouring the coffee out. So, and the top of this is pretty warm. So we'll continue to swirl. As long as the water is in a water state, it's going to be warmer than the ice, so the ice will melt. That's just science. But sometimes it just takes a little while. It's got a beautiful caramel smell to it. It's so nice. That smells so good. I'm excited for a cold coffee this morning. Some iced filtered coffee. I don't do this enough, honestly. Of course, everything's cooled down now. We had a cold front go through. There was a storm that went through the other night, and another one went through this morning. So everything, and then at the night, it's going to be like in the 50s and the 40s. During the day, it's going to be 60s and 70s, which is nice. But sitting outside on the porch in the evenings, which I like to do, I got to put on pants and put on a sweater. It's just kind of silly and not worth it. And just keep swirling here. So yes, I was just like, you know what? It just sounds like a good idea to have an iced pour over this morning. And I don't know about this Canyon coffee. I just looked up a recipe. I don't know about Canyon coffee. It might be interesting to see if I can find a bag of that somewhere and give it a fair shake at some point. I'll put that on my list of coffees. I said I really want all of this ice to melt. I'm not going to be impatient. I'm going to let the ice melt. He convinced himself, unconvincingly. Oh, there's so many storm clouds out there too, still to the north. So it's, but we got sun peeking through. It's just so funny. Every Tuesday, it's rained in the evening, and yet they still come out and mow Wednesday morning. It's just so weird. It just feels like the other folks were like, you know what? It's too wet to mow. We'll come at another point during the week. But these folks, now it's very interesting because a lot of the machines that the new folks have airless tires. They're the honeycomb rubber that doesn't need any air. It just basically wears out. I would assume the rubber just wears out and gives way, and that's when you replace the tire or the tread gets rubbed off. Because I mean, the rubber can only go so long before it crushes itself under the weight of a large tractor. So, okay, I keep telling myself I'm going to wait, but I don't think I am now. I think I've waited long enough. Just add some of the ice from in there. It's a pretty honey color, which I really enjoy. It's super cold. And it's super flavorful. It's so nice this way. You get a wonderful little caramel flavor, but you also get a little bit of a weird. It's weird that my taste buds are this way, but I also get kind of a little bit of a honey flavor to the cold pour over. It's just an interesting, beautiful, tasty flavor with this coffee in particular. So Cafe Graciela, once again, you make a great cup of coffee, and continued success to you. I have to drink this down and pour some milk over it and enjoy the show as it cascades over my ice. What a show. Maybe we'll end with a show. Have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow. We'll see you later. Bye.